The Joseon Dynasty lasted for about 518 years across 27 kings. The first king, Taejo, moved the capital from Gyeongbokgung to Hanyang, which is the city that the Gyeongbokgung Palace is in today. When it comes to palace building, there are a few rules you have to follow. First is that you have to put the ancestor shrines for your ancestors on the left, while you put the shrines for your agriculture gods on the right. You also put the government buildings on the front of the palace with the king looking from the Gyeongbokgung's position, and you also put the marketplace in the back of the palace. However, in Gyeongbokgung's case, because there is a mountain bugak to the back of the palace, they actually put the marketplace on the front of the palace. As I said, the Gyeongbokgung Palace was the main palace of the Joseon Dynasty, and there are also other smaller palaces that supported the Gyeongbokgung's rule by housing the royal family and also serving as a king's residence during the time of disasters like fires and water hazards. That's enough about the background knowledge of the Gyeongbokgung Palace. Thank you. This is the Gwanghwamun Gate, and it has a sad history. Although it was built with the Gyeongbokgung Palace, it was destroyed in 1592 and was rebuilt in 1867 with Regent Heungsun rebuilding the whole palace. However, with Korea's annexation to Japan in 1910, the Japanese built the government general in the Gyeongbokgung Palace, and in that process they actually moved the Gwanghwamun Gate to the east. However, after the Korean War and Korea's liberation, the Gwanghwamun Gate was destroyed. So President Park Chung-hee moved the Gwanghwamun Gate back to this location. However, it was actually on the wrong axis, as it was facing the same axis as the government general, which was facing the Namsan mountain, which had the Japanese shrine on it. So after in 1995, when they demolished the government general government so you can no longer see it, they actually moved the Gwanghwamun Gate to the original axis it was on, par with the Gyeongbokgung Palace. And you can also see that there are 3 gates in the Gwanghwamun Gate, and in the center gate, there's actually a painting on the ceiling of a legendary animal called a jujak. The jujak is one of the 4 cardinal gods that guard the direction south, and that is the reason why the Gwanghwamun Gate is facing the south. There's also a painting of a legendary animal called the kirin on the right, and a painting of a legendary animal called the Hyangwonjeong, the turtle, on the left. As you can see, there is a second floor to the Gwanghwamun Gate, and on the second floor is the drum and the bell. These 2 instruments were used to mark the time. The drum was beaten in the morning to wake everyone up, and the bell was beaten in the sunset to make everyone go to sleep. The reason they used 2 different instruments on these 2 times is because of the materials that are used to make up these 2 instruments. The drum was made up of wood and leather, which was believed to be related to the morning, according to the 5 elements theory, while the bell, which was made up of metal, was believed to be related to the sunset, also according to the 5 elements theory. They also rang the drum 33 times in the morning because they believed there were 33 realms on the heaven, and when they were beating the bell, they believed they were waking everyone up in the whole capital. So they even rang the bell for all the 33 realms on the heavens, and they beat the bell 28 times in the sunset, as there were 28 major star constellations in the night sky, and they were putting everyone to sleep at the night. So that's the reason why they rang the bell 28 times in the night. This is a statue of a legendary animal called the Haechi. The Haechi was believed to be able to differentiate from the right and wrong, and was placed in front of palace buildings to guard against evil spirits and disasters like fires. If you look closely, you can see that the Haechi's body is covered with fishy scales, and you can also see that it has a bell below its neck. And although it's not very visible, it actually has a horn on its head, and it also has feathers inside its armpits. These Haechi statues were placed not just in the Gyeongbokgung Palace, but also in other palaces as well. And it was also a symbol of law and order. So it was also placed in front of the Sahanbu department, which was the anti-corruption department. It also served as a marking spot for officials to climb down from their horses before entering the palace.